Today's episode of Darkness Radio is brought to you by Microdose. Get out of pain, get out of anxiety, and start treating yourself a little bit better. Try Microdose. Microdose is a CBD THC gummy that will get you out of pain, get you out of anxiety, and get you into feeling good again. To learn more about microdosing THC, go to microdose.com and use the code DARKNESS to get free shipping and 30% off your first order. Links can be found in the show description, but again, that's microdose.com, code DARKNESS. Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Wednesday edition of Supernatural News here on Darkness Radio. I'm Tim Dennis. Boy, have I got a funny story for you. But first of all, let's bring in our co-host for today. You're going to think I'm going to say it's the one, the only, the BCB, the Big Cuddly Bear, Beer City Bruiser. But no, it's not. I'm going to throw you a curveball today. It's the one, the only, the lovely, the talented Mallie Fox. Mallie, how you doing?
I'm good. I feel like I should lower my voice and pretend I'm him.
If you want to. It's totally up to you. Let's explain what happened to Beer City Bruiser, and then we'll let him tell his side of the story when he comes back next week. So I get this text last night. Mm-hmm. Last night, weird night, Mallie. Weird night. I'm gonna tell you about his side and my side because I think something was out to get everybody last night, Mallie. So I had a weird deal where I was going to take out the garbage last night, and it's my first day with my new Tootsies, I guess. I'm out of a cast that I've been in for quite some time for my foot, and my foot is all healed and doing well. But the doc has just kept me in a cast for a very long time to make sure that the foot is just nice and healed, right? Mm-hmm. So he's put me into a soft cast and a cam boot, which is like a surgical boot, and then I go and put on my good old trusty left shoe, which has kind of a weak spot in the left heel. So I go out the door to take out the garbage. I've got 3 garbage bags in my hand, and my left heel, which is my good foot, gives out on my foot, and I have a bit of a blowout. Now, keep in mind, I don't have any ligaments in my left ankle, okay? So my ankle rolls, and I start stumbling forward, and I start going into a stumble run, okay? Mm-hmm. And it's one of 2 decisions at that point. I either fall down and skin up everything and potentially fall on my bad foot, which could re-break, or I could have an incident with it, which I don't want to do, right? Mm-hmm. Or do an old football drill, and there's one car in the driveway, which is kind of an older car, and we've been meaning to junk it, okay? Mm-hmm. And it's going to go to a junkyard anyway, so I can take a full-on run at it with garbage bags in my hand, working like an airbag, and just hit that sucker like a blocking sled, right? And just hit it as hard as I can. Now, keep in mind, I got all these injuries, right? So what does Timmy do? Timmy just takes a run and start at it and relives his high school football days and hits that thing like a blocking sled. And boy, oh boy, was I sore last night.
Do you have a Ring camera?
I do, but I don't have it installed right now.
Because that would be hilarious. You could set music to it and post on TikTok so we could all enjoy a good laugh.
I did have a neighbor kitty corner from me who was looking, and I thought I heard a holy shit.
Maybe they've got a camera.
They might.
You could make some money.
You might see me on an internet video, just
right.
Big handicapped dude relives his high school days.
Do they still have America's what is that?
Funniest home videos?
Yeah.
I think they do, and someone's going to try and win 10 grand off my ass. That's all I know. So I stayed upright, and I believe everything's okay. I checked everything, and nothing was bleeding. Nothing was. And then I promptly put everything in the garbage can, wheeled the garbage can down to the curb last night, and promptly turned red and came back up the driveway and passed out. I came in the house and I passed out. I was in so much pain and embarrassment. I passed out for an hour and a half. But everything was sore. Everything.
Right. Well, and doesn't it usually take a couple days to get like the full, like it's always like the second or third day where you're in more pain than you were like the first day that you hurt yourself?
Yes, but all I got to say is thank God for microdose gummies. And I, you may say, "Oh God, Tim, really a commercial now?" No, it's. I'm serious, folks. We've been touting these microdose gummies on air, and I woke up after that hour and a half of passing out because it was a weird feeling, Mallie. Everything was so sore and got so stiff right away because it's a car accident feel.
Yeah, you used the garbage bag as an airbag.
I did, yeah. And the minute I woke up, I just reached over and I grabbed the jar of wild berry microdose gummies and I took 2 of them. I just went, oh, this is going to be horrible. And then I moseyed over to the shower and I just stood under the shower and then I went to bed. I just, but I woke up actually feeling pretty good. I mean, I still was achy, but I wasn't like, car accident achy.
Right.
Which is, but I still, I'm in some pain today, boy. I know I hit something. But I got a good 8 running steps in before I hit that. I mean, it was like a full run.
Right.
And I haven't broke into a full run in a long time. So there you go. And then Bruiser, I get a text from him last night. This is what starts off the weird night. Okay. So he gets a hold of me. He says, "Sorry, brother, I'm not going to be able to record tomorrow." And I said, "Well, what's going on?" He goes, "I broke the bed." And I said, "You could have waited to celebrate until Thursday." And he said, No, it wasn't that. He said, "We were just, me and Mrs. Bruiser, we were just laying here watching TV and the bed broke and the wood from the bed launches into the wall and breaks open the wall." Have you ever heard of that?
No, I haven't.
Isn't that weird?
Was it a full moon last night?
I don't know.
But that is strange. That's in his new house, correct? Because he moved.
Yeah. Yep. They moved to, well, I shouldn't say where they moved to, but.
Right.
Yeah. They moved way far away from the state of Scotty, the home of serial killers and cheese. But yeah, but yeah. So he busted open a big hole in the wall and he's like, "Yeah, I got to kind of fix this." I'm like, wow, that must be major. If maybe it was a load bearing wall or something.
I don't know, but that's a little bit strange.
Yeah. He's like, "I got to fix this right away." I'm like, "Ooh, okay." So yeah, that's why Bruiser's not with us today. So, yeah. So it was just a strange night, in Darkness Radio Land last night. So, yeah.
But when is it not strange though? I mean, I feel like a lot of odd things happen, with us and the listeners.
Yeah. Well, what kind of strangeness you got going on your end?
I'm trying to think. Just more activity in my house. We're working upstairs now. We're renovating because we bought a house that was built in 1883. Oh, and it's like you either have time or you have money, but you never have it like at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's like slowly working on our home. But I mean, we just have odd things. So our latest thing that we saw was like a form kind of walk across the room.
Really?
Yeah. In the next room over. So we hear, footsteps and lots of movement and weird things, but
wow.
Yeah. But then I also live in a really old town. So I feel like every time I go on the town's Facebook page, someone is reporting something freaky. Like everyone has a story about their house and their business because we're like a river town. And we used to have, it's super old. So we had the War of 1812 here, fought here. And then we've had, I think they found like an Indian burial ground here, and lots of people are finding like bodies in their yards because it was just kind of, just bury them wherever. And,
Yikes.
then we had mobsters here. So, cause we're like 15 minutes outside of Detroit. So we had the Purple Gang. So we just have all of this stuff. I think every building here is haunted.
Wow.
So, but yeah, we're always having things happen in our house. And now that we're working on the upstairs, it just seems like we're stirring things up again.
Wow.
So, yeah. But when you were talking about Wisconsin being the land of cheese and serial killers.
Yes. Yeah.
I know he's not from Wisconsin, but it's funny that you said that because right now I'm burning my John Wayne Gacy's candle.
Are you?
Yeah. And it smells like candy. And I think that's what it's called. What's it called? Clown candy is what it's called.
Oh, that is freaky.
Yeah, but I'm burning it right now and I'm looking at his face. So.
Well, now Gacy was an Illinois guy, but that's okay. That's close enough. That's,
right.
Yeah,
Maybe he's a serial killer.
Well, yeah.
And he's got the three names. I feel like every serial killer has 3 names that they go by.
Well, you know why that is?
Why?
It's because when they take them into booking, they always announce them in a press release by all 3 names.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Yeah. I just know that Wayne is like a popular name with serial killers.
It is.
A lot of them have Wayne in their name.
Yeah. I'll tell you something off air. It'll freak you out. But yeah,
I like to be freaked out. Do it.
Yeah. Not now, but I'll tell you off air.
Off air.
Yeah, I'll tell you off air. Not now.
Sorry, it took a second to.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Why do I know someone that's a serial killer?
You know somebody with the name Wayne.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll freak you out. Just saying. Not me. I'm
right.
I'm Timothy.
In my head, I'm just like, okay, who uses W as like a middle initial or something?
It's not me. It's
okay.
Yeah. But no, it's not Wayne. Okay, never mind. It's not Wayne, but it's close. It's close. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to start putting a tracker on me.
I know, right? Yeah. But we've got an exciting supernatural news show today, Mallie. I believe we also have a one Parashare story, if I remember right. Yeah, if I remember right, we have one Parashare story. Boy, do we have we've had some good shows the past couple of weeks here in Darkness Radio. You're kind of the cream of the crop here, Mallie. I'll tell you that. You're kind of
why.
Well, I'm just saying, we've had some really good shows and really good guests, and now we've got you aboard, and by gosh, we're hitting home runs left and right here, Mal.
Yeah, but this show's just beginning. You might change your mind by the end.
No.
I might be dumbing it down a little.
No, not at all. Not at all. A few weeks ago, we had Katrina on. She came on. Yeah. She talked about portals to hell. We had the ghost. We love her too. We had the Ghost Brothers on. They were great. We talked about.
They're so funny.
Yeah. We had. They made a threat against Bruiser, I think, which was fun. Yeah, it was a threat, but I don't think I'll take him to Michigan Paracon with me.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll see him next month.
The Ghost Brothers, not Bruiser.
No, not Bruiser.
No, I want to keep him in one piece for a while. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you sure? You should bring him along sometime, though, Bruiser.
I will. Not this year because he's actually got other commitments. But
okay.
Yeah, but I will probably next year.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot for next year. Bringing him to Michigan Paracon, I think. I'm going to shoot for next year. I'm going to try and clear his schedule.
You're kind of keeping him as like your little precious, like no one else can meet.
Am I?
Yeah, kind of. I don't want to share.
I don't mean to. I'm thinking maybe we might do a little tour together. He and I. Maybe we'll call it the uninvited tour.
Okay.
Since we're not booked to any of these other than Michigan Paracon, like the entire paranormal community doesn't want to book us. I think he and we might just start crashing these different paranormal conventions.
There you go.
Yeah. Maybe we'll just we won't even buy a table. We'll steal one from them. We'll just show up and say, "Give me your table, fool."
You set up a van outside of the event.
There you go. I have a van. So what we'll do, Bruiser and I will just get together. We'll ride around in my van. We'll call it the Darkness Van. And he and I will just, we'll pull up to your paranormal convention. We'll sit outside with a big old banner and we'll put our own table outside the van. And it'll be like, just come and meet us.
Yeah. Free autographs.
Yeah. Free autographs, free hugs. Mm-hmm. We won't charge you anything to say hi to us.
There you go.
And you just do it right outside the convention. Mm-hmm. That's what we're going to do. Yeah. And if you want, Mel, we'll come pick you up on the way too.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'll bring snacks.
Okay, you sold us.
I love snacks.
Yeah, you sold us. So,
okay.
But if we bring snacks, don't we have to bring enough for everybody?
Let's bring an ice cream truck.
Oh, that's even better. You know what? Bruiser would say, let's bring a beer and ice cream truck.
There we go.
Because he loves beer. So if he, and he can probably get it sponsored.
Ooh. See, look at that.
See,
we're making money just thinking about this.
See, we could probably get it sponsored by a beer company.
There you go.
Yeah. So it could be a beer truck. So think about that. If we pulled up to any paranormal convention in a beer truck and handed out beer, we're automatically the top draw. Yeah. Who's going to go in?
There you go.
They're going to hang out with us outside.
Right.
Yeah. I would be, if I were a paranormal promoter, that's hard to say 3 times fast. If I were a paranormal promoter, I'd be scared of me right now.
Why? Because you're coming up with these awesome ideas?
Yeah, because I'm coming out to your event in a beer truck. I would think about booking me right now. Just so I don't show up to your event in a beer truck with Beer City Bruiser and Mallie Fox. I'll be bigger than your event.
I'll make the t-shirts because I've got the printing press thing.
Okay.
So I'll make t-shirts and then I'll go get one of those t-shirt guns.
Yeah.
And just shooting them across the parking lot.
The uninvited tour. And then on the back, it'll just, maybe it'll, for the uninvited tour, just put their location and cross it out. So it'll be like we were never invited. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll just pull up to that tour, and I won't name the places because they might still invite us.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Right.
Or if you name the places, they're going to have security waiting for us by the time we get there.
Well, that's why we don't name the places we're going yet. Mm-hmm. We just show up. Right?
Yeah.
We can need a liquor license.
Probably, but it'll probably be easier than the hard liquor. You know what I mean? Like beer and wine license are always much easier to get than the hard liquor.
Yeah, that's true. I still think it's going to be fun. I think we'll have a blast with it. I think,
or worst case scenario, you could do root beer.
That's true. Yeah.
Because then you don't need a license.
The Root Beer City Bruiser? I don't know. He might change his moniker just for this. I can check with him. I'm sure it won't. His image won't take a hit. I don't know. Mm-hmm. We'll find out. Quick movie review for you. I had the pleasure of going out and seeing Thor: Love and Thunder last week. I know a lot of you probably checked it out over the weekend. Got to tell you, different story, but it's a story from the comic book, and I'm not going to spoil too much for you on the story. Essentially, Taika Waititi takes over the directing realm again, and along with the script on this one once again. And again, if you liked Thor Ragnarok, you're going to like this one. It's a lot of the action along with the kind of campy humor along with it. But it's kind of taking an old storyline from the Marvel Comics version of Thor, where Jane Foster finds out that she has cancer, and in order to kind of defeat Father Time and the fact that she's got stage 4 cancer, is looking for an answer. And as she's looking for an answer to that stage 4 cancer, it turns out that the shattered hammer of Thor calls out to her. And she ends up going to New Asgard, which is located here on Earth now. If you remember right, Asgard was torn down in Ragnarok. And it turns out that she hears the call of Mjolnir, however you want to pronounce it. And it turns out that Thor's hammer reassembles for Jane, and she becomes an extension of Thor, or a new Thor, or a different Thor. And from there, the hijinks ensue for Jane Foster. There is a little bit of a trick to it, however, in that Jane, as she uses the power of Thor, it turns out that there's a hitch to that. I won't tell you what that hitch is, but you'll find out when you watch the movie. On the other part of it, Christian Bale is your villain for this movie. and simply being the God killer. And he has a simple origin as well. What I liked about this movie is they get right into it. And he starts out worshiping a god, believing that his God will save him and his daughter as they're suffering and they're going through a drought. And he's trying to get through this drought, believes that his God will save him. And it turns out his God knows nothing about his suffering when he finally meets his God face to face, and ends up killing his God with an enchanted sword, and ends up getting the power of this enchanted sword. And we go from there. And so he's become a god of sorts, but then he swears that all gods must die. And you've seen that in the commercial. So now he's on a quest, and here we go. So it's a real simple script, for lack of a better term. There's nothing complicated to get in the way. Thor, of course, is kind of still with the Guardians of the Galaxy, but then realizes that he's got to kind of go from mourning overweight Thor to, back into God shape and kind of go back out on his own. And so Thor has his mission. Jane Foster Thor has her mission. The God Killer has his mission. And all of us have our missions, and we're off and running. What I like about it is it's simpler than Thor Ragnarok was. I think that's going to make for a good summer popcorn movie. And I think it's probably easier for the kids, too. A lot of our old favorites are back. That's good to see. A lot of new favorites are back. I think people will like that as well. There's some good cameos in the movie. And overall, although it wasn't as impressive as Thor Ragnarok was, I think it's a better movie in terms of action, in terms of keeping it a little simpler. And it didn't seem to drag as long as Thor Ragnarok did. Although it does kind of falter in places, I still think it's a good movie. And in that, I'll give it 3 3/4 stars out of 5. So I thought it was a good movie, good summer movie, good popcorn movie. And I think Marvel once again and Taika Waititi have done a great job with this Thor movie. And I look forward to the next chapter. And yes, there's a special surprise at the end that makes you think that Thor has, let's just say, expanded his own universe. So that's kind of neat that the Thor pantheon, if you will, keeps moving on, which is good to see. Let's jump into it, shall we, Mallie? Did you see the pretty pictures that NASA put out?
They were so cool,
weren't they? Though.
Yeah.
Even what's his name? The big astronomer guy said, "Ooh, cool." So NASA put out these big first official deep space pictures of the James Webb satellite that they took supposedly all the way back to the beginning of time. I don't know how this thing works. I can't tell you. I'm not a scientist. They captured the signature of water on the exoplanet WASP 96b. Somewhere Blackie Lawless is proud that he got a picture named after him. A dying star cloaked by dust. Galaxy cluster Stephan's quintet, which I'm sure Bill Hader was happy for. He got one named after him. And baby stars in the Carina Nebula. All kinds of pictures everywhere got taken by the James Webb telescope. And somewhere Hubble is in a corner just crying because it's only got 1/4 of the capability to be able to take pictures like the James Webb telescope. So now what does Hubble do? Hubble does what? Like family portraits on the weekend to try and make up money? Or what does it do?
Yeah, you can find it in the mall.
Yes, at glamour
next to
shots.
the old JCPenney's.
Taking glamour shots.
Yep.
Dazzling, unprecedented images of a stellar nursery, dying star cloaked by dust, and a cosmic dance, they're calling it, between a group of galaxies has been revealed to the world by NASA's new super space telescope. I got to ask you, before I read the rest of this, Mallie, when you look at that picture, did you have a wow moment or a holy shit moment? We really are not alone.
I would say the latter.
Yeah. When you take a look at all those little flecks in the picture and consider that those are not stars, those are galaxies. Mm-hmm. That's a little overwhelming.
Yep. It is.
Just simply
you
amazing.
Can't say we're the only ones that, out there.
Oh, far from it.
You know what I mean? But you've got closed-minded people, other life forms do not exist. I'm sorry, but if you see all of those galaxies, hello.
Yeah. Hailed as the dawn of a new era in astronomy, they were taken by James Webb. That picture was a successor to the famous Hubble Observatory and were released by NASA at a global press conference this week. It puts an end to months of waiting and feverish anticipation as people across the globe are treated to the first batch of a treasure trove of images that will culminate in the earliest ever look at the dawn of the universe. Believe it or not, Mallie, it took 12 hours to take that picture.
Oh, it did? I didn't know that.
Because it shot to the very edge of the universe. How is that for impressive?
I'm sitting here with my mouth open.
Yeah, it shot to the very edge of the universe.
I didn't even think, wow.
So Webb's infrared capabilities mean it can see back in time to within a mere 100 to 200 million years of the Big Bang, allowing it to snap pictures of the very first stars to shine in the universe more than 13.5 billion years ago. So imagine that. So you're sitting here, or actually sitting where the James Webb telescope is, and then it takes that picture. And if you try to wrap your mind around it, I think everybody's mind kind of freezes when it tries to think of this.
Right.
It not only shoots current day, we're thinking it's shooting or taking a snapshot in its current moment. It's not. It has to shoot at the speed of light. So 186,000, feet per second? Is that how it works, I believe? Or 186,000, I believe it is, feet per second. So it has to go all the way to the edge of the universe and back. It took 12 hours.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I just considered it just a snapshot.
No. Its first images of nebulae, an exoplanet, and galaxy clusters have triggered huge celebration in the scientific world on what has been hailed a great day for humanity. British astronaut Tim Peake, who spent 6 months on the International Space Station back in 2016, tweeted, "Simply breathtaking. I think a lot of people will be choosing new screensavers this week." Among the discoveries announced by NASA is that scientists have seen water vapor in the atmosphere of an exoplanet more than 1,000 light years from Earth. Webb captured the distinct signature of water along with evidence for clouds and haze in the atmosphere surrounding WASP 96b, which is a hot, puffy gas giant planet which orbits a distant sun-like star every 3.4 days. It is the first ever spectrum analysis of an exoplanet's atmosphere. WASP 96b has about half the mass of Jupiter, and its discovery was announced in 2014. One of the 5 jaw-dropping pictures released shows a planetary nebula caused by a dying star, a fate that awaits our sun sometime in the distant future. Nearly half a light year in diameter and approximately 2,500 light years away from Earth, the Southern Ring Nebula can be seen in incredible, never-before-seen detail. Another image is of Stephan's Quintet, which is located in the constellation Pegasus and is notable for being the first compact galaxy group ever discovered in 1877, which is impressive in itself. Mm-hmm. 4 of the 5 galaxies within the quintet are locked in a cosmic dance of repeated close encounters. This enormous mosaic is Webb's largest image to date, covering about 1/5 of the moon's diameter. It contains over 150 million pixels and is constructed from almost 1,000 separate image files. NASA said the information provides new insights into how galactic interactions may have driven galaxy evolution in the early universe. Webb has also revealed a sparkling image of baby stars in the Carina Nebula. Oh, it's the cutest thing ever. We got baby pictures. Where ultraviolet radiation and stellar winds shape colossal walls of dust and gas. The cosmic cliffs of the Carina Nebula, a star-forming region located roughly 7,600 light years from Earth and our own Milky Way galaxy, were previously pictured by Hubble. However, the new view offers a rare glimpse of stars in their earliest rapid stages of formation, including hundreds that were previously completely hidden from our view. While the Hubble Space Telescope has analyzed numerous exoplanet atmospheres over the past 2 decades, capturing the first clear detection of water in 2013, NASA said that Webb's immediate and more detailed observation marks a giant leap forward in the quest to characterize potentially habitable planets beyond Earth. Emma Curtis Lake, who's an astronomer at the University of Hertfordshire, try saying that like the Swedish chef 10 times, Hertfordshire, said, I've just watched the release of the new images and I'm blown away by the sharpness and level of detail in all the images. My favorite moment was when they released the image showing the NIR spectrum of a galaxy that is over 13 billion light years away. I've been impatient to find out how the NIR spec performs, and I can't wait to get my hands on it and test our models for my own research. The NIR spec is an onboard spectrograph, and it's capable of taking spectra of hundreds of galaxies at once. Now, I should explain to people that different scientists are going to get their turn at using the James Webb telescope to be able to look at their own galaxy of their own choosing. So we're going to have different scientists looking at different galaxies and getting their own close-ups on those galaxies and being able to, I believe it's have 6 to 12 hours or something like that with each galaxy and being able being able to get their own data on those galaxies and then being able to report back to the scientific community. So you're going to get loads and loads and loads of information about different galaxies coming up in the next, 10 to 20 years, which is going to be quite fascinating.
Think about how far we've come. I mean, when we were like in elementary school, we just did like the 9 planets, you know what I mean? That little model.
Yeah. Yep.
To now where we're, looking at all of these galaxies and, it's amazing when you, Yeah, it's just mind blowing at this point, especially just getting that first look at that picture. I like you said, the 9 planets. I remember, even as a third grader, being fascinated by the picture of those 9 planets, and going from that and thinking that was all there is to looking at that picture yesterday, and just going, wow, how naive we were when we were young. Yep.
And how historic that moment was. Even President Joe Biden reviewed the main event as he unveiled one of Webb's images that showed a cluster of galaxies 4 billion light years away from Earth. He went on to call it a historic moment for science and technology, for astronomy and space exploration and all of humanity. It's quite something how, when someone questions, what are we throwing all that money at, NASA and SpaceX, and what are we doing all this stuff for anyways? And you say to yourself, it's days like this where you go, there's a reason why we're doing all this, because we really, just when you think we have all the answers, or you think we're the most evolved species in the universe, we have no idea. Right. We just have no idea. And we have so much more to look at, so much more to cover, and so much more to learn about what it is that's around us. And boy, are we a grandiose species if we think that we know exactly what it is that's out there. Mm-hmm. And it's just so fun to kind of open up that present. It's like Christmas Day, when you see exactly what it is that the James Webb telescope came up with. So, it's just quite exciting to see what that first picture revealed, and how much more there is to come. There's just a lot more to come when it comes to the James Webb telescope. So we're looking forward to seeing what different scientists farm out of that. We move on, Mallie, to a new story that I don't know if this is a UFO or not. The other thing that we're kind of farming as we go along is a soft disclosure. Okay. And, with UFOs, UAP, and seeing is this really what it is? Is it what it is? And are these truly aliens from another planet? Is this technology made up by something on our planet? Or is it a weather balloon or something that somebody just threw up into the sky? A mysterious silver unidentified flying object seen over the skies in England has left locals puzzled. The UFO was spotted on Sunday, glistening in the sky near Bristol. A local resident in North Filton snapped the shiny object, which looked to have some sort of string-like detail hanging from it. And while extraterrestrial enthusiasts will be encouraged by the apparent rocket-like shape in one of the pictures, there could be a little more plausible explanation, the form of a weather balloon or even a helium balloon, which escaped from its owners. By the way, around Super Bowl time, Mallie, you might have seen a couple of football cylindrical mylar objects flying over the Minneapolis area. They were the two balloons that got away. One said Rams and one said Bengals. And they got off the string as I was trying to bring them to my Super Bowl party. Yeah, so those were the two UFOs on Super Bowl Sunday. In one of the images, the object appears to have an S-like shape, which could be potentially be a foil, 2 or 5 foot shaped helium balloon, which are a popular feature of children's parties. The resident who took the photos, David Leahy, said in quotes reported by Bristol Live, "I was about to get a Chinese carryout when I spotted it. A few people were taking pictures when they saw me taking some," he said. "It's probably just a weather balloon, but you never know." He went on to say, "It was ascending slowly, I think. No sudden movements, so probably wasn't ET. It's not the first time a UFO has been spotted in the skies above Bristol. Last year, 2 separate sightings took place in the space of 30 hours in the skies above Kingswood. The first sighting was made by Claudio Illy? I don't know. I'm not over there to watch. At about 7:20 p.m. on Saturday, July 17th, from his flat, he photographed and then filmed a strange silver object that appeared to be very, very high in the bright blue early evening sky." So there you go. So I don't know, Mallie, have you ever launched a few UAP yourself by accident?
No, not. But I like how the guy had to mention he was getting Chinese takeout.
Yeah. I was about to get some Chinese takeout, and lo and behold, right. I saw some UAP. I wonder if it was that good. He was just trying to get the name of the restaurant out there.
Yeah, there we go. So that he has like a lifetime, like free egg rolls or something. He mentions the restaurant.
I wonder if they do that over in England. They don't do it here. I've tried.
You've tried?
I've tried.
Have you tried product placement?
If you mention, sometimes if you mention, I got to hook up with a podcast, maybe I could, we could make a deal. They go, no deal. Really? Because it's quite popular and there's a lot of people who listen. Maybe they'd come and, they'd visit your establishment and drop some money here if I mentioned it. No deal. Even for a free meal once a month? No deal. Just doesn't work that way, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Have you ever tried that? I'd let you do it, Mel. Got any
I would do it for corn dogs. We have this this food truck that sits outside like a grocery store. Mm-hmm. And it's sometimes it's pretzels. I think it was corn dogs one time, but it's more so pretzels. But yeah, I freaking love corn dogs.
Okay, so here's the deal. You have my permission.
Okay.
Go up to the food truck. Tell them, listen, I'm a very influential co-host of a paranormal podcast named Darkness Radio.
Yeah. You don't know me, but
they know me. And that's what's important here.
Right.
Corn dogs for commercials. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. We have our street fair coming up this week. I'm so excited.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big one too. It's not as big as, like Minnesota State Fair or anything, but it's probably the size of it's been a while since I've been to the Dino Art Fair.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a decent size. So it takes over a couple blocks. Well, yeah, probably 4 or 5 blocks. But yeah, corn dogs, here I come because it's walking distance.
See, I'll show you how this is done. You ready, Mallie?
Okay.
See, I got a guy, and I've mentioned him here on the show before. He's my guy. He's my barbecue guy over there at Jelly Bean and Julia's. See how I did that? See how I did that? And Corey, he's my main man. And I gave him a great idea the other day. Wonderful idea. I said he makes, and I swear to you, makes the best brisket in the Midwest, if not the entire north part of the United States, northern United States.
Yeah, but didn't that lady do meat that we talked about last time? The one with the food trucks?
Couldn't even tell you. It doesn't even exist in my mind.
Oh, okay.
But Corey's brisket over there at Jelly Bean and Julia's. See how I'm giving you the name out there. Jelly Bean and Julia's over there in Anoka, Halloween capital of the world, ladies and gentlemen. You ever want to, at Halloween time, get to the Halloween capital of the world, Anoka, Minnesota? Anoka, Minnesota, do so. And while you're there, Hans Bakery for the Beehive Cake. Then right over for lunch, Jelly Bean and Julia's. Get yourself some of the best brisket in the world. I'm telling you. Also does a bang-up job on ribs. The ribs are amazing there too. Okay. So I'm on the gram and I'm messaging back and forth with Corey one Saturday. I'm watching the Twins, the Twinkies baseball team, our first place Minnesota Twins. And I said to him, you know what? You could make a banger of a, that's how the kids say it. Okay. You could make a banger of a brisket sandwich and sell it at Target Field. Just saying. Uh-huh. They have all these exotic foods now out at Target Field. It's not just hot dogs and a Coke and popcorn. It's not just the traditional,
Right.
Yeah. It's not that anymore. Now it's like, it's like falafel and hummus and, it's weird ballpark food now. But I'm thinking, because the way Corey does his stuff, it's all Texas barbecue. It's all, like Austin-based Texas barbecue. It's all good stuff.
But wouldn't it be expensive to rent space there?
It could be, but I'm telling you, he'd make
Look at me being logical for...
You are being logical. But
I'm thinking because I know it's expensive to have a stand at the state fair. Mm-hmm. And then you have to be voted in and all that stuff. But you make a killing, but when you're there.
Think of it this way, Mallie. Look at it this way. You do different sizes, right?
Yeah.
You got your fastball, you got your slider, which little sandwich, right?
Yeah.
Little sandwich is your slider.
Have you ever noticed you and I talk about food a lot?
I know, but you know what? That's why we vibe so
love
well.
Food.
Yeah. We vibe so well because we're on that food kick.
Oh my God, love it.
Yes, we're codependent over food.
Yeah.
Plus I found out people love it when we talk about food on the show. I get more responses from people saying, you talked about that barbecue again, damn it.
Yeah.
And now
we should do another podcast together and just
people keep asking me about On the Rocks with Mallie Fox. They're like, when are you firing this thing back up again?
I know. I need to. It's just life got so busy and I can't find the balance. I need to find the balance. I really do. I think I need a life coach.
Do you need me to coach you on how to get this thing going again?
Probably, because I just have to. Yeah, I just let everything get in the way. I do, and I'm so bad about it. But I got it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I'm very upset with myself about it. But
you shouldn't be. Don't get down on yourself. You just get in there. You do it, Mallie.
I know. But with kids
it's like doing the laundry.
It's
once a week.
Oh my God. Don't even get me started on laundry. Oh my God.
You got to have clothes. You got to do the podcast. That's the way it is. Just once a week, you just do it. You do it whether you want to or not, you do it. You get it out there, you do it. Why do you do it? Because the people out there love Mallie Fox. They want to hear her.
I am telling you, I had a teenager, not me, but okay, real quick. This is totally off topic, but I'm sure a lot of parents can relate. I have an 11-year-old going on 21. Mm-hmm. And she has fashion shows every day. She tries on 4 outfits to see what she's going to wear.
Oh,
and
my God.
The other 3 outfits end up on the floor, right?
Right.
So I have a ton of laundry that I'm always doing. Anyway, yesterday, I'm doing laundry because I didn't have fabric softener, so I let it pile up. And I normally do laundry every day so it doesn't pile up because that annoys me. I'm OCD on laundry. Mm-hmm. So I did laundry. I give it to her, and I'm like, here you go. I'm going to put it on your bed. You just need to put it in your drawer. 3 hours later, I go back in to do the laundry. There's all the clothes in my dirty hamper.
Oh, hell no.
And I was like, what?
Nope. Nope.
So I went in there. I'm like, hello, these were clean. Oh, I didn't know. I'm like, what? I'm putting dirty clothes on your bed? What? So anyway.
Now, Mallie, let me give you some advice.
It was breathe.
some brotherly advice here.
Ugh.
I was 9 when I learned how to do laundry.
I did laundry when I was young too.
It's time to lead that child over to the washer and the dryer and show them how to do it.
I know.
So that they know how to do it, and just say, hey, since you so casually can lead this over to a hamper, you can casually put it in the washer, you can casually put it in the dryer, and your ass can casually fold it and put it away.
But I'm just saying, how many people have, experienced that where they do it and then all of a sudden you're like, what? It's like every time I go in there, a bomb explodes. Oh, geez, Louise.
And if they're going to be trying on 4 outfits a day, then their ass are going to be washing 4 outfits a day.
Yeah, no, she's a fashionista, but it's just like, Derek and I, because they're they're from Derek's previous marriage. Mm-hmm. So, they're with us, every week and stuff. But we're like, for someone being with us, 3 days a week, her room looks like it smells like a frat house. No. Excuse me. But.
Yeah. Even though Mallie, Mom, and Maid all start with M, that doesn't mean that you perform all 3 tasks.
I know, but it's like I want to do it for them, but yeah, I don't know.
There's wanting and being forced to. You gotta. That's a little ridiculous to be.
I know.
There's an age where you start. And it's not like, believe me, I'm not being mean with you here. I'm just saying that
I know.
If they're gonna be taking advantage of your kindness and generosity and hospitality, and especially if they're not over there full time, well then by God, they better be working that washing machine as much as they're working that runway. You know what I'm saying?
I know, but they're just precious. I love them, but yesterday I was like, what?
I'd tell them you get one courtesy wash while you're over here. The rest is up to you.
Yeah. Well, we're going to start the what do you call it? The allowance pretty soon here. 'Cause she's going to be 12. So
yeah.
It's time.
Yeah, it is. It's time to start cracking in there and having them start doing their own stuff.
I know, but it's like they do everything at their mom's house. So I feel like, let's make it easier for them while they're here. But yeah, I got to stop doing that.
It becomes twice as hard for you. And I understand that you'd like to give them a little bit of a break, but at the same time, life doesn't give you breaks.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm sorry. I digress and I brought us. So,
you're fine. You're fine.
We need to work on a podcast. We need to do Mallie Fox on the Rocks, and we need to do one about food. And we'll just have we could do noise. Remember that time that I made those Nutella sandwiches at your house?
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah. Food porn, right? With just our voices.
Yeah. It was like ASMR food.
Good. Oh God. Yeah. We could make a killing on that, especially on TikTok.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yepper.
All right.
We digress.
Now I'm getting excited.
Yeah, we're just teasing you with future plans here. But okay, so let's get back on track with supernatural news because people are going, what does this have to do with supernatural
I know,
news?
and I apologize to everybody. They're probably not going to want to ever hear me again.
No, that's not the case at all. People love you, Mallie. We're just teasing. We're teasing for future plans. That's all. And you know what? Maybe we'll put it here on Audio Boom.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
People have the interest in seeing. You know what? Do this. Write either Mallie. What's your email address?
MallieFox@gmail.com.
There you go. So if you're interested in hearing it on Audio Boom here, maybe as part of the Darkness Radio family.
Look at that.
Let's get it on Audio Boom here. All right. If you're interested in hearing it here on Audio Boom, we'll get Mallie up and running here on Audio Boom. And we can do that. Right? So
that sounds fun.
Little incentive here. We'll get Mallie up and running on Audio Boom. If you want to hear her here on Audio Boom with On the Rocks with Mallie Fox, we can include a little food segment in there on the Rocks with Mallie Fox because
it's like food orgasm. We'll have to come up with a cute title.
The little stomach spasm and foodgasm with Mallie Fox. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
That doesn't sound good.
We're spitballing now.
Right.
But we can get that rolling as well. So if you want to hear more from Mallie Fox, email her. What was the email again, Mel?
MallieFox@gmail.com.
There you go.
I keep it simple.
There you go. So just let her know. Email her, and Mallie will get a hold of me, and we'll get the ball rolling. How's that sound? All right. More UFO news here, Mallie. The truth is in there, evidently. A Roswell mystery cracked by a retired U.S. Air Force captain who says crucial words on a memo hold the key to a UFO crash. It's true. A retired U.S. Air Force captain believes that crucial words on a memo may hold the key to solving the the Roswell UFO crash mystery. Although I thought this was already solved. I thought that
someone didn't get the memo.
Yeah, I thought we already had like alien material that we were holding in our hands and stuff like that. Veteran researcher Kevin Randall, who has interviewed around 600 people over the past few decades in his search for answers around the mysterious case, says he's eliminated all possible terrestrial explanations. I'm glad somebody did. An unknown object crashed in the New Mexico desert in July of 1947 near Roswell and sparked decades of intrigue. Witnesses claim to have picked up bizarre materials from the craft with hieroglyphic writings on, while others claim to have seen dead aliens among the wreckage. The military issued press releases on July 8th of 1947, stating they had recovered a flying disc. However, this was quickly retracted, and officials claimed the crash was a weather balloon flying a part of Project Mogul, a secret Cold War project. Speaking on the 75th anniversary of Roswell, wow, 75 years already, Randall told The Sun, well, Project Mogul wasn't really a weather balloon. It was designed to spy on the Soviet Union. It would lift a microphone into the atmosphere so that if there was a detonation of atomic weapons, the microphone would pick it up, and they would know in the United States that the Soviet Union had detonated an atomic weapon. It was made up of weather balloons and Rawan targets, a type of radar. What they said officially is that the Roswell crash was a weather balloon and Rawan target from this experiment being conducted in New Mexico. And what I discovered is that while Rawan targets were part of the experiments conducted on the East Coast, when they got to New Mexico, they didn't use those targets. And therefore, wasn't the metallic debris that shows up in the picture sent out at the time, which clearly was a weather balloon and a Rawan target. We know they weren't using Rawan targets when they were in New Mexico. So where did that Rawan target come from? That kind of points the finger at this being a government hoax to explain away the Roswell case. Author Randall, who wrote a book named Understanding Roswell, said that all possible earthly explanations to explain the crash had been debunked, proving that the government explanation was a lie. What can we say with authority is that, or what we can say with authority is that something fell at Roswell, he said. We have eliminated all the terrestrial explanations. The Air Force helped us out when they did their investigation in the mid-1990s. They did the same thing that we did. Was it an aircraft accident? We couldn't find any. Was it a missile from the White Sands? No, there wasn't a log in the time frame. Was it some kind of atomic experiment? Well, the Air Force said no. They couldn't find anything, which is what we found. We'd gone to all these places. The only thing that they could find, they said, was Project Mogul, and we can eliminate Project Mogul. So we have no terrestrial explanation, which is not to say some classified document may show up that shows it was really something else and something much more mundane than an alien spacecraft, but we haven't found that, and we've looked for years and years and years. Randall, who served in the Air Force and National Guard, believes the key to solving the case once and for all is a mystery memo, which can be seen in a black and white photograph sent out on the news wires at the time. The grainy memo appears to say the words "victims of the crash" and is held in the photograph by Brigadier General Roger Ramey. At the time, he was commanding officer of the 8th Air Force in Roswell. Ramey is holding the piece of paper slightly turned away from the camera, but on which some words can be read using technology while others seem to be obscured. The Ramey memo could be the key to this whole thing, Randall said. Ramey was holding the memo in his hand when he was photographed with the debris in his office. And what's interesting is we know when the picture was transmitted over the wire, we know who took it, and we can see Ramey is holding the document in his hand. So we pretty much have the provenance nailed down, he went on to say. There are words in the document when you blow it up that you can read. Some people interpret the critical line as saying victims of the wreck. Well, victims of the wreck takes it out of the realm of a weather balloon, but it's kind of an interpretation of what you see. When I look at the document, it says victims of the wreck, but I also can see it saying other things. It's that kind of faces in the clouds type of phenomenon. Randall says he was involved in an investigation into the memo for a History Channel TV show in which experts used equipment to peel away layers of the negative, but they still couldn't confirm exactly what it said. He believes that developments in artificial intelligence could be the key to finally solving the mystery of what the memo says. We've done all we can in regards to the investigation, but the Ramey memo could be key. The consensus seems to be that they're going to have to apply artificial intelligence to it to see if it can interpret this thing in some fashion. But artificial intelligence isn't capable of doing that yet. We've applied all the technology we can, and at one point we couldn't read as much of it as we can today, but the technology has taken it as far as it can take it. But there is a possibility that AI will develop to the point where it can finally give us an answer. Kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. But evidently, according to Randall, that mystery is solved. So there you go.
There we go.
There you go. One answer, mystery that may or may not be answered is how a U.S. fighter pilot was killed while chasing a UFO, and that his death was covered up as his family is calling for answers. This one is kind of an interesting little story. Mm-hmm. Thomas Mantell was a 25-year-old war hero when he was killed in a plane crash after being scrambled to chase down a UFO. And almost 75 years later, his family is still desperate for answers. The official story is that he flew too high in a plane and ran out of oxygen while chasing Venus or a weather balloon, but that simply doesn't wash for his grandson Terry and the rest of the Mantell family. The government has tried to say he was a flyboy, that he was like Maverick and Top Gun, but he was just doing what he was told to do, Terry told the Sun online. He had 2 sons. He was married to his high school sweetheart. He was an experienced pilot, and he died chasing something he thought was a threat to America. What was it? I'm not sure. Martell was a decorated World War II veteran who had been awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross for his heroics and even served on D-Day. Yet, despite dodging death from Nazi anti-aircraft guns, the young dad died when his P-51 Mustang mysteriously fell out of the sky just miles from where he was born in Franklin, Kentucky. Captain Mantell, who was flying on a training mission at the time with 3 other pilots, was dispatched by Godman Army Airfield at Fort Knox after reports of an unknown object were sighted on January 7th of 1948. The mysterious shape in the sky was spotted by cops and then airmen stationed in the base's control tower. Some witnesses described the shape in the sky as a 300-foot disc, while others said it was a flaming red cone trailing a gaseous green mist. The sighting came as UFO fever was gripping the United States, being 6 months after the infamous Roswell incident and the first modern sighting by pilot Kenneth Arnold. But while those inflamed public curiosity and America's newfound obsession with flying saucers, Captain Mantell's encounter took a dark twist and a tragic end. Thomas ordered one of his wingmen from the 165th Fighter Squadron to return to base and to arm his plane with hot guns to prepare to engage. The other pilots peeled off the pursuit, but War Hero Mantell bravely sped on towards the UFO. And when he hit 20,000 feet, suddenly all contact was lost with Thomas. It has been reported that some of his final radio communications to the air base's control tower saw him describing a metallic object of tremendous size. After his final messages, there was an eerie silence before visual contact was reestablished with his plane. Sorry, this isn't written very well. Shocked witnesses on the ground were horrified as they saw his Mustang spiraling back towards the earth, crashing into the ground on a farm at around 3:18 p.m. Rescuers rushed to the crash scene, but Thomas was found dead. He left behind his wife Peggy, his sons Thomas and Terry, an enduring mystery that has become a source of pain for the family that is still passed on between the generations. And after his son Terry died last year at age 74 from COVID, his grandchildren are continuing to try and establish what happened to their grandfather. His grandson Terry told the Sun Online, My dad would break down and start crying even up to when he died and spoke about Thomas. He always just wished he got to know his dad, but he never did, and that was a source of pain for him. Terry went on to say, my dad was only 2.5 when it happened, but it always affected him. I first heard about it when I was a very young man, and back then it was hard for me not to talk to people about it because no one would ever believe me. It's incredible, but at the same time, it's sad. Thomas was not even meant to fly that day, but the other pilot was sick, and it was just meant to be a practice mission. I feel a lot of pride when I think about him. He accomplished so much at a young age. He got the Distinguished Flying Cross, and he survived World War II. And for him to then come back home and die the way he did was very painful. And the government have not done Thomas justice. That's a weird sentence. With the 75th anniversary of Roswell approaching and the conversation around UFOs becoming a national security debate in Washington, the Mantell family are calling for answers. UFOs have stepped up from the realm of fringe conspiracy theories into congressional hearings and Pentagon reports, with lots of very senior officials and politicians admitting there is something in the skies. And so far, no explanation has been given, with hundreds of sightings investigated by the Pentagon remaining as unexplained and potentially posing a national security risk. Military pilots and other veterans are now feeling more confident to come forward and talk about their experiences. Some of these people have had to live with that, and for such a long time, it must be rewarding for them to come forward and share their story, Terry told The Sun Online. Would they lie, he went on to say? These are big-time pilots. What do they stand to gain? And this contrasts with previous U.S. government investigations, such as Project Blue Book, which totally dismissed reports with UFOs. Terry said that the Air Force tower controllers who witnessed Thomas's encounter with a saucer-shaped UFO were told not to speak about what they saw. They were told that if they did, they would lose their pensions, and eventually the crew were dispersed across the U.S. The family have even met with one for airmen who confirmed this story to them. For the Mantells, there's no question there was a cover-up surrounding Thomas's death, but the new push for transparency in Washington has given them hope. I like that UFOs are getting on the mainstream news and the government are talking about it, but I do wish that they would go back and tell us what happened to Thomas, Terry told The Sun Online. They have to have something on the case. It would bring a lot of peace to the family, he went on to say. I'm passing the story on to my daughters, and I'm saying that they have to go have a lot of pride because their great-grandfather is Thomas Mantell. He wasn't some crop duster joyriding who saw a UFO. He was instructed by Fort Knox to chase this thing and check it out. He was basically the first martyr, is what he went on to say. So there you go.
I think it's a government cover-up. I just don't see him chasing a weather balloon.
No, not at all. And it's odd that this isn't one of the stories that comes up in some of these hearings that, hey, what, this Thomas Mantell is one of those ones that did go after the UFO, but mysteriously didn't come back. And even though some of those witnesses are probably no longer with us,
right?
There had to have been a report somewhere. There has to have been something in writing somewhere that says, hey, this is what we have as far as what happened that fateful day. Mm-hmm. One last story before we go to break here, Mallie. We've been talking about the beauty of space earlier today. There's something not so beautiful about space. That is, we have satellites up there and we have people living on the International Space Station. Uh-huh. What comes with that is garbage. We can actually watch the ISS dump 172 pounds of trash into space. The station receives a new waste container, by the way, that shoots garbage bags out into the final frontier so that they can burn up in the atmosphere.
I hope it does. Could you imagine you're just strolling along, all this crap lands on you?
Maybe that's why we have so many interactions with UAP, is because they're telling us to clean our crap up. Taking out the trash on the ISS just got much, much easier, by the way. NanoRacks is a private space company based in Houston and has successfully tested a new technology that will streamline the process of waste disposal in outer space. And we just throw it into the atmosphere. On July 2nd, NanoRacks deployed a special waste container that can hold up to 600 pounds of trash that's being held inside its Bishop airlock. The waste bag, when it's released, will burn up upon re-entry into the atmosphere, and the airlock is remounted empty. The successful test not only demonstrates the future of waste removal for space stations, but also highlights our ability to leverage the ISS as a commercial technology testbed, which provides critical insights into how we can prepare for the next phase of commercial LEO, or low Earth orbit destinations, said Dr. Amelia Wilson, NanoCrack's CEO. I think it's funny it's NanoCracks and they deal in garbage. Currently, astronauts have to collect trash and store it within the ISS for months while waiting for the Cygnus cargo vehicle to arrive and haul it away. After Cygnus completes its main mission at the ISS, the astronauts fill the spacecraft with trash before it's released from the station to deorbit, at which point the entire spacecraft burns up upon re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere.
Someone's thinking it's a meteor.
Yeah, exactly. The company's first test of the technology, conducted in partnership with NASA's Johnson Space Center, held about 172 pounds of trash that included foam and packing materials, cargo transfer bags, dirty crew clothing, so they don't even wash it. See, Mallie, take your kids' clothes, throw it up into the atmosphere, and burn that shit alive.
Here we go.
You don't have to wash it. Assorted hygiene products, and used office supplies. It all gets burned up in the atmosphere. Waste collection in space has been a long-standing, yet not as publicly discussed challenge aboard the ISS. Cooper Reed, Bishop Airlock Program Manager at NanoRacks, said in a statement, 4 astronauts can generate, how much do you think, kilograms of trash per year, Mallie?
Oh, geez. I'm thinking it's on the higher end.
Oh, yeah, it is.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's more than what you would think.
2,500 kilograms of trash per year.
That's higher than what I was thinking.
Or about 2 trash cans per year as they have them, trash cans. Not like your average trash cans.
Right.
As we move into a time with more people living and working in space, this is a critical function, just like it is for everyone at home. The new system is based on the flight-proven successful NanoCrack's CubeSeat deployer and SmallSat or Caber deployers. The company notes that Bishop provides a platform for proof of concept operations, as well as the ability to test subsystems and robotics, expose hardware to the radiation environment, and deploy satellites. The ISS is a $100 billion science and engineering laboratory that orbits 250 miles above Earth. It has permanently been staffed by rotating crews of astronauts and cosmonauts since November of 2000. Crews have, 22 years already that they've been operating up there. Crews have come mainly from the U.S. and Russia, but Japanese space agency JAXA and European Space Agency ESA have also sent astronauts. Research conducted aboard the ISS often requires one or more of the unusual conditions present in low Earth orbit, such as low gravity or oxygen. ISS studies have investigated human research, space medicine, life sciences, physical sciences, astronomy, and meteorology. The U.S. Space Agency, NASA, spends about $3 billion a year on the space station program, with the remaining funding coming from international partners, including Europe, Russia, and Japan. So far, 244 individuals from 19 countries have visited the station, and among them, 8 private citizens who spent up to $50 million for their visit.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah. There's an ongoing debate about the future of the station beyond 2025, when it is thought some of the original structure will reach end of life. Russia is a major partner in the station and plans to launch its own orbital platform around then, with Axiom Space, a private firm, planning to send its own modules for purely commercial use to the station at the same time. NASA, ESA, JAXA, it sounds like I'm speaking like Jar Jar Binks, I know, and the Canadian Space Agency, CSA. I know you're a big fan of them, Mallie. are working together to build a space station in orbit around the moon, and Russia and China are working on a similar project that would include a base on the surface. So there you go. My only concern is this, Mallie. Sure, they put it into the atmosphere to burn up. What happens about the stuff that gets through the atmosphere into the surface of the planet?
Yeah.
Yeah, then you just get a bunch of garbage on your head. Know what I'm saying? Know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
picking up what you're putting down.
Yep. And if you happen to get hit by that garbage and you're in a ton of pain, how should you get rid of that pain, Mallie?
I'm thinking those gummies.
Oh, let me tell you, Mal, I have been using now for a couple of weeks these microdose gummies. And when I think it's no secret between you, me, and the fence post, and I've told our audience, I've been on a couple of different opioid pills over quite a few years. I've taken MS Contin, which is a form of morphine. I've been on Percocet. I've been on Vicodin. I've actually kicked Vicodin. I've kicked Percocet. I'm no longer on Percocet.
That's great.
That's
good news.
That's a heck of an accomplishment.
Yeah.
So, most people in their lifetime would say, to say I've gotten off of one of those is an accomplishment. To say you've gone off Vicodin and Percocet is a big deal. Now, I mean, in my family, I've had people who have been addicted to both. I've never been addicted to them. Don't get me wrong. I've never been addicted to either one. I've used them for pain, and I do have chronic pain. So for me, it's a big deal to get something in my life to help with chronic pain. What I'm finding is that THC or CBD are those substances that help me get through that pain. And I'll have this pain for the rest of my life. There's different ways you can go about dealing with pain. I do meditation. That's one of the things I do. I do use CBD and THC. I do still have the MS Contin in my life to deal with the baseline pain. So, but for breakthrough pain, I'm using CBD and THC. And I'm using these microdose gummies. And I'm telling you, Mallie, these microdose gummies are absolutely perfect. And I'm encouraging our audience to try it out. It's just one of these things that's absolutely perfect. But one of the things you may ask, Mallie, is how do I get through my day? Like, how am I doing the show with you right now while using THC? Shouldn't I be all wonked out and wacky and not be able to focus? I mean, that should be the obvious thing.
Right.
Well, no, that's the great thing. Microdosing is a term you might have heard before. And generally when people think microdosing, they think about, bad things like LSD or something like that.
Right.
But microdosing is actually a term where you're using a partial dose of something in order to get the effects without getting the high. And using a microdose of a CBD THC combo actually gets you the pain relief without getting that kind of confusing high or getting you outside of your faculties. You're still able to function. Fundamentally, what makes the gummies unique, the microdose gummies unique, is that they contain more THC than other hemp gummies, and that's where the CBD and THC is coming from in these microdose gummies, but less than the maximum allowed by federal law. So you get less than 0.3 THC, which is derived from industrial hemp. What's nice about these gummies is they're infused with real fruit, they're vegan friendly, they're gluten friendly, and of course they're made with lots of love, so you got to love that as well. But the microdose gummies are great for lots of other things as well. Not just pain, not just anxiety, but they also help boost your creativity, which I need a little bit of that as well from time to time.
You and me both.
And they help get you through your day. They also help kind of relax your muscles. One of the things I find too, Mallie, as I'm wrapped up in chronic pain is my body doesn't relax. It's like one chronic ball of stress. And what's nice about the microdose gummies is it relaxes me to the point where my muscles finally start to relax.
Okay.
Which is really nice. It's really, really good. So I'm finally starting to feel like, you know what? My muscles do relax, which is nice.
Do they taste okay?
Oh, they're wonderful. And thank you for bringing that up. I've got two different flavors I'm trying right now. There's wild berry and there's watermelon sorbet.
Ooh.
And I'm a little more partial. My taste buds are a little more partial to the wild berry than the watermelon.
Well, watermelon's a strong flavor.
It is, but it's enjoyable. Both of them are enjoyable. They're made with cane sugar and like a tapioca sugar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they're all natural ingredients. They're great. They taste wonderful, and really, it's a pleasant experience. And it's one of those experiences that, of course, you're not getting the high off of it, but you're getting the benefit of pain relief. You're getting the benefit of anxiety relief, and you're getting the benefit of feeling better overall, which is what, of course, you're looking for from these microdose gummies. And I know I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better overall, and I'm not having to use the pills, which, of course, the pills can cause other side effects within your body, within your liver, within your kidneys, that you really don't want from long-term use. What's nice about this whole deal, Mallie, is right now, Microdose Gummies has got a deal for our listeners, which I want to share with you as well. Microdose is available nationwide. That's the other thing that people are worried about. You know, from state to state, there are regulations on THC products. The fact that there's only 0.3% THC in these gummies, they're legal in all 50 states. So Microdose is available nationwide. So you can get them nationwide. They ship nationwide. It's available right now, and they ship to your mailbox. To learn more about microdosing THC, you just go to microdose.com. You can use the code DARKNESS, and here's the deal. You're going to get free shipping and 30% off your first order.
Oh, that's a good deal.
Yes, you're going to save big here. Links can be found in the show description, but again, go to microdose.com and use the code DARKNESS. It's a great deal, folks. You're gonna get out of pain. You're gonna get out of your anxiety. You're gonna quit being such a stress ball. Your muscles are gonna relax. Your creativity is gonna flow once again, and you're gonna find yourself becoming a much better person, a much more relaxed person. Maybe not even as grumpy, believe it or not. But it's a great deal overall. Again, it's available nationwide. It ships right to your mailbox. Learn more about microdosing THC. Go to microdose.com. Use code DARKNESS to get free shipping and 30% off your first order. The link is in the description of the show, but again, microdose.com, code DARKNESS. When we come back, Mallie, boy, have we got some stories for you. Of course, there's a story about AI. AI is taking over this world, Mallie. I'm a little paranoid today. I'll give you that.
If you're paranoid, you need those gummies.
Yeah, I do need to take my gummy. I'm starting to get a little paranoid about this AI thing. There's a couple of AI stories, and sure, they're a little unnerving. Believe it or not, Captain Kirk even tried to introduce us to AI and tried to massage us gently into AI back in 1984. We'll talk about that. That's one of the AI stories we'll talk about. The Loch Ness Monster may live in a Stranger Things styled parallel universe.
Ooh.
We'll tell you about that when we come back. That's a little weird. We got a Parashare story for you to talk to you about. By the way, if you have Parashare stories, email me, tim@darknessradio.com. We'll get your Parashare story on the air. We'll even weigh in about it. Mallie and I will weigh in about this Parashare story when we come back. And the machine behind the God particle is on the hunt for dark matter. We'll tell you about it and what they're doing over there in Sweden. That'll be next right here on a Supernatural News Wednesday. It is Supernatural News on the best in paranormal talk radio. This is Darkness Radio. Welcome back to the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio. It's Tim Dennis along with Mallie Fox. Your City Bruiser is out this week. He'll be back next week. I'm going to go ahead and read this Parashare anyways, Mallie.
Fabulous.
Although it says hi-oh Tim and BCB, we'll just say hi-oh Tim and Mallie. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
It says it's your pal Tatted Up Manda from Twitter. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm writing in with one of several paranormal experiences I've had. I've had quite a few. The crackle of supernatural energy has always seemed to follow me from a young age, particularly in dreams. I'll start with this one. Back in summer of 2019, a friend surprised me with a birthday trip to New Orleans. That's a nice surprise.
I love New Orleans.
Yeah. A place that has always fascinated me and I've always wanted to visit, but I didn't know our destination until we were at the actual airport. That's kind of a nice way to surprise somebody too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It also says, I was very surprised and excited, but a little bummed that I didn't have time to plan all the paranormal sightseeing I wanted to do. My friend entertains the spooky, but not to my extreme degree. Oh, well, I see that. The plane ride wasn't very long. We were flying from New York City, but by the end of the flight, I felt completely drained. We got to our hotel. I needed to lay down and recharge. I fell asleep, and I had a very vivid dream of being in a crowd of people dressed in festive white ritual garments with red accessories that did not look like it was from this era. It was a religious celebration held in an open space with cobblestone in front of a large white or off-white building, with many large arches. Some people held bones, others candles, some danced, some chanted, and some drummed. I had never seen this place before in my life. I woke up feeling as if I hadn't slept at all and recounted the dream to my baffled friend. All she could respond with was, welcome to New Orleans. You love this weird shit. I guess that's one way of putting it. The next day, we went to a cemetery walking tour. We walked around town with our guide, learning about the amazing history, and even got to visit the grave of Madame Marie Laveau in the Louis Armstrong Cemetery. It was there. Oh, what's that, Mallie?
Oh, nothing. I was going to interrupt, and I was like, nope, that's rude.
Oh, okay.
I was just going to say, did you know that there's more than her body in there?
There is?
Yeah, in those crypts, they put tons of bodies in each one.
Really?
Yeah. I had no idea. I just thought it was like you had it yourself. Nope. They pile bodies in there.
Huh. Interesting.
I learned that on the tour.
Huh. Okay. It was there that we learned that our hotel, the Maison Dupuis, was known to be one of the most haunted places in the state, as it was built on the old St. Peter Street Cemetery. When excavating for the pool many years ago, several coffins were unearthed. Oh, that's creepy. Our guide gleefully informed us, I'm sure they did. Our tour ended in Louis Armstrong Park, Congo Square. Looking around, I went lightheaded, realizing we were standing in the very place I had dreamed of the day before.
Ooh.
Oh. I took a seat on a bench to process my deja vu as my friend went pale, realizing we were in the exact place I had described. The history of Congo Square was explained by our guide as a place of tradition for African worship and congregation in the 19th century. How I saw this in a dream or what the connection was, I don't know. But I feel my fascination with New Orleans was a call from something more than just curiosity. I didn't sleep much that night, and we flew home the next day. I plan on making another trip back to explore the places I missed. Although this time, it won't be a surprise. I'll let you know if I experience anything similar the next time around. Thanks for letting me share. I'll send in another one soon. Keep up the great work, guys. My love to Chip, Chip, and Ziggy. Oh, Amanda. So Chip is of course one of the chipmunks out here, and right. Ziggy is Bruiser's new dog. So there you go.
Oh.
And signed Manda. Well, Manda, you got thoughts here, Mallie? Because I think I know exactly what happened.
What do you think happened?
Oh, I wanted to get your thoughts first. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, maybe she's reincarnated, or maybe she traveled. I don't know. I mean, I believe her to be so descriptive and never being there. And then the next day it's exactly where, I mean, it's matching up to, what you dreamt about. So who knows? Maybe she's reincarnated.
I think you're right. I think it's past life.
Yeah.
Yep. You touched down, you had a flash. It was just a flash of a past life. And Because when you say very vivid dream of being in a crowd of people dressed in festive white ritual garments with red accessories that didn't look from this era, you're describing a flash of a past life. That you just had a look into a past life. So
that's cool, though.
And that it was a religious celebration held in an open space with cobblestone in front of a large white or off-white building, large arches. Some people held bones, others candles. Some danced, some chanted, some drummed. And yet you woke up as if you hadn't slept at all and recounted the dream. And you're saying you're recounting a dream, but again, feeling like you were there. So obviously you were there.
Right.
To me,
because she even referred to it as deja vu.
Yeah, exactly. So
that feeling.
To me, that's, Amanda, you were there. Yeah. And that was just literally at that point, New Orleans is a trigger object for you to remember the fact that you had lived there once before and you were just experiencing what you had already been through. So,
and with New Orleans, I've traveled all over the country and over to Europe and stuff, but New Orleans just there's something in the air. There's some type of energy that I think everyone feels, and it's not just Bourbon Street, but there is something there. And I don't know, with the traditions and the history and all that stuff, but there seriously is something that I think a lot of people feel that's supernatural, I guess you would say. But yeah, I don't know. There's just something different about New Orleans.
Yeah. Yeah. I truly believe she's been there before, and she's a native. So she's a native of Nolens, and that wasn't her first time there. So that's what I believe, cool. Amanda. And yeah, please keep them coming. Tim@darknessradio.com. If you have an experience you want to share with us, just write in and we'll share it right here on the air and we'll weigh in. So there you go. William Shatner is a tool of AI. Just figured I'd declare it right here.
Right.
Yeah. He's introduced the future of robotics in a rarely seen 1984 video. He says the future is now in a techno-optimistic walk through robotics of 30 years ago. It was led by Captain Kirk himself. Oh, sure, he tried to be all nice about it. Oh, sure, he tried to pull the wool over our eyes, Mallie. Oh, sure, he tried to make it look all nice and white and shiny and tried to get us to buy into it the first time. But we're on to you, Captain Kirk. We know you're a robot. In a rarely seen video about robotics, optimistically called The Future Is Now, William Shatner takes viewers on a 19-minute tour of the latest in industrial robotics. It's got everything one wants in an educational video from 1984, grainy montages, a beep-boop soundtrack, nonsensical...
I'm sorry, beep-boop.
Yep. That's
kind of funny.
Well, nonsensical vaporwave graphics and an overall look at once was... let me do that again. An overall look like it was once rolled into a classroom on a giant TV cart. The video, a project of educational content company Ames Media, was uploaded to the Internet Archive in 2016, but received few views. The Computer History Archives project uploaded it to YouTube on Monday to similarly little fanfare, but it's a piece of 80s computing nostalgia that's worth revisiting. The video opens with Shatner giving an awkward autograph to a small C-3PO type robot, like it cared. You probably charged it $150 or $200 too.
He does charge a lot for his autograph.
Yeah, he does. A little rolling can with a cheery voice that beeps its thanks as it gets the autograph. Then comes a walk through the capabilities of Cincinnati Millicron's T3 for the Tomorrow tool. Yeah, it is a tool, isn't it? Industrial robot, the first commercially available computer-controlled industrial robot. When Shatner showed off this steel collar worker, as he introduces it, it was a feat of cutting-edge engineering. Today, it's a dinosaur in a museum. Shatner then takes the viewer on a tour of the National Bureau of Standards, renamed 4 years later to the National Institute of Standards and Technology, to see vision-equipped robots inspecting gears. 3 years earlier, the NBS released a report from a workshop of engineers and researchers that heavily focused on vision-equipped robots and how to make the burgeoning field more commercially appealing. There was a strong consensus among participants, or all participants, that simple vision is the first priority for research and development efforts, they wrote. There's concern today, do these routes pose some kind of threat to human employment? Shatner rhetorically says, robotics seems to point the way towards increased production and improved product quality without corresponding increases in manufacturing costs. If that should come to pass, why there ought to be more employment opportunities in the expanding economy, not less. Oh, he was so on the robot side. In 30 years' time, we'd find that industrial robotics actually do reduce wages in jobs. One steel-collar worker in a local labor market coincides with an employment drop of 5.6 workers, according to the National Bureau of Economic Research. And these robots would be the cause of numerous warehouse workers' injuries and hospitalizations as corporations race to use them to improve their bottom lines and forced human workers to try to keep up. At the end of the video, Shatner hints at artificial intelligence as being the next breakthrough on the horizon for robotics, but the Shatner of 1984, who could imagine flying around the galaxy and battling aliens on other planets as Captain James T. Kirk, probably couldn't imagine what would come in the next 30 years, that he'd eventually upload his memories to an artificial intelligence and become the oldest guy in space. So there you go. So Captain James T. Kirk of 30 years ago was deathly wrong. You bet you couldn't see that coming. Another AI, I'm going to fire this up here if you don't mind.
Sure.
This right here. After an AI bot wrote a scientific paper on itself, the researcher behind the experiment says she hopes she didn't open Pandora's box. In other words, bad AI. Bad AI. Yep. A researcher from Sweden gave an AI algorithm known as GPT-3 a simple directive: write an academic thesis in 500 words about GPT-3 and add a scientific references and citations inside the text. Researcher Elmira Osmanovic Thunstrom. Boy, there's some mixed backgrounds there, huh? Said she stood in awe as the text began to generate. In front of her was what she called a fairly good research introduction that GPT-3 wrote about itself. After the successful experiment, Thunstrom, a Swedish researcher at Gothenburg University, sought to get a whole research paper out of GPT-3 and publish it in a peer-reviewed academic journal. The question was, can someone publish a paper from a non-human source?
That's just creepy.
It is, isn't it? I know, scientists come up with the creepiest shit.
Yeah. It's disturbing, actually.
Yeah. They are kind of creepy people. They don't get out much. I don't think they have much sex. I mean, it's just...
I'm not talking about the scientist.
Oh, you're not talking about the scientist?
No.
Oh, I am. Thunstrom wrote about the experiment in Scientific American, noting that the process of getting GPT-3 published brought up a series of legal and ethical questions. It always does. All we know is we opened a gate, Thunstrom wrote. We just hope we didn't open Pandora's box. Funny they're talking about boxes. After GPT-3 completed its scientific paper in just 2 hours, that's all it took, Thunstrom began a process of submitting the work and had to ask the algorithm if it consented to being published. It answered yes. Thunstrom wrote, slightly sweaty and relieved. If it had said no, my conscience could have not allowed me to go on further. I checked the box for yes. She also asked if it had any conflicts of interest, to which the algorithm replied no. And Thunstrom wrote that the authors began to treat GPT-3 as a sentient being, even though it wasn't. These people, again, need a life. Yeah. Academic publishing may have to accommodate a future of AI-driven manuscripts, and the value of a human researcher's publication records may change if something non-sentient can take credit for some of their work, Thunstrom wrote. The sentience of AI became a topic of conversation in June after a Google engineer claimed that a conversational AI technology called Lambda became sentient and had even asked to hire an attorney for itself.
Oh, jeez.
You know, you're in trouble when it wants an attorney. Experts said, however, that technology is not yet advanced to the level of creating machinery resembling humans. In an email to Insider, Thunstrom said that the experiment has seen positive results among the AI community and that other scientists are trying to replicate the results of the experiment. Those running similar experiments are finding that GPT-3 can write all about subjects, she said. One scientist says, I read the article about GPT-3 during the weekend today, bored because of a too long COVID isolation and trying to write a paper myself. I decided to try what GPT-3 can write about my own research topic, the result, and some reflections on the next tweets. Again, bored beyond recognition. This was our goal, Thunstrom said, to awaken multi-level debates on the role of AI in academic publishing. I don't get what they're doing. I think they're trying to destroy the world, scientists are.
I just think it's wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might be too many sci-fi movies that I've watched, but yeah.
Yeah. Evil scientists. You got the good ones that are looking out into space and saying, look at all the possible aliens out there.
Yeah.
And then the other ones that are going, hey, let's see if we can get these computers to do some shit that'll destroy us. Mm-hmm. Speaking of finding evil computers that'll do shit to destroy us, did you know that they're making quantum computers right now that could break encryption?
No, I did not.
Yeah. You know how you count on encryption to keep stuff safe?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, screw that.
And then there's silence. Screw that.
Screw that.
Done.
According to this article, modern problems require modern solutions. The U.S. government is trying to prevent the use of quantum computers to break encryption. I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible so I don't scare the living crap out of you today. Encryption is an important part of keeping our digital lives private. That's why we agree to do stuff like debit cards, so we make it easier on our lives because stuff is encrypted. For the most part, it works well. However, new generations of quantum computers could threaten to decode the algorithms that the modern encryption process relies on. Earlier this week, the U.S. Department of Commerce's National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST, announced the selection of 4 encryption algorithms that will become part of the agency's post-quantum cryptographic standard. NIST is considering additional algorithms down the line and aims to finalize the standard in the next 2 years. NIST first asked for contributions, because I'm ghetto like that, around creating and testing an encryption algorithm that could hold up against attacks from emerging, but potentially powerful quantum computers back in 2016. Though practical quantum computers have yet to be built, their design, which would draw upon very different scientific concepts than conventional computers, would enable them to break some of the cryptographic algorithms commonly used to protect electronic messages, NIST said in a press release. Many apps and electronic services use public key cryptography systems to protect sensitive information like your digital messages or electronic banking data. Central to this method is pairs of large numbers that act as the public and private keys for decrypting the message. But to hide the keys from prying eyes, computer algorithms use these numbers and math equations that are designed to be easily solvable in one direction, but hard to reverse engineer. For example, the numbers can be multiplied together to produce massive figures that cannot easily be factored. But quantum computers are pretty efficient at factoring, making them a threat to modern security. In order to counter this, cryptographers must create algorithms that contain problems difficult even for quantum computers to solve. The 4 algorithms chosen were designed for both general encryption, where 2 users swap keys, as well as for authenticating digital signatures, identity verification. Traditional cryptography uses many algebraic math problems. See, there was a reason you took algebra in school, whereas quantum cryptography tends to play with more geometric problems. One of the geometric problems is designed around lattices, not the stuff you eat in the grocery store on a salad, which are a multi-dimensional grid of points that extend out in all sorts of directions. The computer has to then find closed points or vectors within this lattice. I know I'm confusing you with all kinds of sciencey stuff, but essentially quantum computers. They're not quite a reality, but we're getting close. And guess what? If they become close, which they look like they're becoming, they can undo encryptions, which means what? More hacking of your shit.
When do we say enough is enough?
I know, right?
Jeez Louise.
I don't know. Let's switch up to some things that aren't so scary.
Yes, please, because once we get done with the show, I'm probably going to be sitting there on the couch going,
I'm not safe anymore.
With everything we've talked about. Like, oh my God.
I'm not safe anymore.
I might have to watch a Real Housewives to just get back to normal.
I know, right? I'm just going to go watch Judge Judy for a while.
My reality television.
I'm going to go watch her bust down some rednecks. Let's talk about the Loch Ness Monster, Mallie.
Okay.
That sounds a little bit better.
Yes.
That's a little more doable. The Loch Ness Monster may live in a Stranger Things style parallel universe. That's kind of interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Although if you ever get, kidnapped into that parallel universe, you're screwed.
Do you watch the series?
I've seen 1 or 2 episodes. I have not yet sat down to binge watch it.
Okay. It's very good. I like it.
I have this weird thing. When everybody else is watching something, I don't watch it.
No, that makes sense. I've done that with a couple of shows.
It's I don't know why I'm so hardcore against the grain when it comes to things that are extremely popular.
Okay.
But I just am. When everybody's like, you have to see it. Like everybody's like, you got to see the new Top Gun. No, I don't have to see the new Top Gun. I don't know why I sound like Jerry Seinfeld right now. You have to see the new Top Gun. No, I don't have to see the new Top Gun.
Yeah.
I don't have to. So,
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Part of me likes it because it's 80s and I'm an 80s kid.
Yeah.
So, but no, I completely understand because I've done the same thing. So,
and all I know is I keep seeing these Hellfire Club T-shirts everywhere, and I'm like, why did you steal that from the X-Men?
See, no, I never got into X-Men, so
the Hellfire Club, and it's still active in today's X-Men comics. The Hellfire Club is an actual supervillain club.
Okay.
So to me, it's like you just stole something directly from the X-Men. Now I have no interest in watching it because you directly plagiarize something from the X-Men.
Yeah, but isn't the Hellfire Club also like is it England or Scotland or something?
Yeah. And Chris Claremont and John Byrne plagiarized it from something real too. And I think isn't Hellfire Club mentioned in, it's not Shakespeare, but what is it? It's in classic literature too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not a new concept, but when you're talking, and I know that the Stranger Things crew, the creative crew are huge into 80s.
Yes.
Pop culture stuff. And one of the huge pop culture references in the 80s were the X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, they probably lifted Hellfire Club. But I see the shirts and I go, okay, so you lifted an X-Men reference.
Yeah.
So now I'm really mad. Now I really don't want to watch it. and now everybody's going to email me and say, you got to see it, Tim. You got to see it. It's really good. Now I'm like, no.
But wasn't Dungeons and Dragons, though, wasn't that very popular back then, too, the 80s?
Yeah.
I
didn't partake in that either.
That's a group. Yeah, no, I didn't either.
No, because I collected comics, but I've been collecting comics since I was a little kid. Mm. So
Sorry if you hear my dogs in the background.
No, it's fine. Like I told Bruiser, there's nothing wrong with puppies in the background barking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, okay, they have the whole house, but yet they decide to,
it's because they
outside the door.
Because they want to be a star, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's my turn to shine. I hear a microphone.
Yeah, so I apologize.
No, it's okay. They probably have a story to read. So this Loch Ness Monster may live in a Stranger Things style parallel universe. What's the name of that parallel universe anyways? It's the Underhatch, the Underhoosies.
I do not remember. You're putting me on the spot.
Sorry.
That's okay.
One expert has claimed that much like the Netflix hit, the monster could exist in a separate universe. The search for the Loch Ness Monster has gone on for decades, with the true identity of the legendary beast as much a mystery of how it came to live in the loch. One expert, though, claims it could spend most of its time hiding in a parallel universe, like in the hit show Stranger Things. The creature has captivated the imagination of the general public ever since its most famous early sighting in May of 1933, when the Inverness Courier reported a local couple seeing an enormous animal rolling and plunging on the surface. But as of yet, despite numerous theories being put forward, no one has been able to prove the monster exists. Now, one paranormal investigator thinks he knows why there hasn't been actual evidence found of the beast, and it involves the Netflix nostalgic hit. So basically, he watched Stranger Things and went, oh, it's in a parallel universe, the end.
Yep.
In Stranger Things, the gang of heroes face off against creatures from a pocket universe known as the Upside Down. That's what it is. The Upside Down. And Scott Ron Halliday believes this could be a clue as to where Nessie disappears. He said scientists have suggested that there could be other universes, and somehow our world interacts with these other worlds through portals. With the Loch Ness Monster, people could be seeing a dinosaur that existed in the past. They may see something that looks solid, but isn't actually in our world, that can spread across a whole range of things such as UFO sightings. The 72-year-old Ron thinks our legend could be akin to that of the Duffer Brother and Dungeons and Dragons creatures, such as the Demogorgon and Demodogs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He added, some people are more psychic than others. They can pick up these experiences while others may not. It's possible that some may walk into these portals without realizing it. Then they can see these things. They are having genuine experiences. In a way, this is speculation, but to my mind, it does provide an explanation to a whole range of paranormal phenomena. I haven't done this, by the way. There you go. Yeah. Look at you. You went, eh. Thanks for that half-hearted, I appreciate that. This theory differs from the one which resurfaced a few weeks ago. A 2007 report gained notoriety after it suggested that the giant beast could actually just be a huge frog.
I
don't see
I don't think it's a frog.
No, I don't see a frog in that either. No. In 2005, a team from the United States-based Sea Trepid Incorporated performed a full deep water scan on the loch in hopes of finding the mysterious Nessie, but all they found was a frog living at an astonishingly 325-foot deep spot below the water. Deep diving frog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It wasn't Senior Frog, but it was a deep diving frog. That's for sure. Got a couple more stories left here today. 4 more to be exact. Did you hear last week about Coyote Peterson?
No.
Not my neighbor, by the way, Coyote Peterson. I think he wanted a name like Indiana Jones. He even wears a fedora and everything.
Get out. Does he?
Yeah. Coyote Peterson claimed he found a Bigfoot skull.
Okay.
And he was all the rage last week on social media. People were like, oh my God, look at the size of the skull, Coyote Peterson. He was getting quite the name. And then all of a sudden he came out with this video and pictures. And the skull was kind of big, but everybody was like, is that a gorilla skull? You know, they're kind of questioning what this thing was.
Right.
So the town was Coyote Peterson, at least for a couple of days. Well, the video, which shows the discovery of an alleged Sasquatch skull, has revealed the entire thing to be a hoax. Sorry, guys.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was a little hesitant to talk about it last week on the show because I wanted to see how this thing played out.
Uh-huh.
Well, the wildlife enthusiast and presenter had discovered a Bigfoot skull in the forest of British Columbia and had smuggled it back to the U.S. through customs. Probably not a great idea. Photographs posted up on his Facebook page, which were uploaded as part of a teaser for his upcoming video about the discovery, managed to generate a great deal of interest online. The full video has been posted up, and predictably, and you know what? I'm going to put a link to it in the description of the show so you can take a look at it. And predictably, it turns out that the discovery of the skull was never actually intended to be genuine. You heard me right. Instead, Peterson presents it with a video as a what-if scenario. So it was just meant to draw attention to him.
Oh.
According to experts who analyzed the skull based on the earlier photographs, the prop used is most likely a cast of a gorilla skull, something that is generally widely available. The Facebook photos, minus the hoax disclosure, were evidently posted up first as a publicity stunt.
Oh, I bet he's got some angry people.
Oh, yeah. Even though it doesn't show a genuine Bigfoot skull, however, the video itself is still worth a watch, according to this article. So I'll put the article up, and you can watch it for yourself in the description of the show. You can clearly see when you watch it that it is a gorilla skull. There's no doubt about it, especially when you see it from the left profile. You look at it and go, yeah, that's a gorilla skull. That is not a Bigfoot skull. But anybody who didn't know any different would take a look at it and go, hey, is that a Bigfoot skull?
Remember that hoax like years and years ago where it was a costume was it in a freezer or a cooler or something? And they were saying it was a legit Bigfoot. Yep.
Yeah, some people thought it might have been a ghillie suit too, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it was a hoax.
Yeah, but it just got all that hoopla for.
They were traveling with
days.
it, right? Yeah. I think they had plans to come to Minneapolis before they were called out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was sad too.
Yeah.
The machine behind the God particle is on the hunt for dark matter. We're talking, of course, about the Large Hadron Collider up there at CERN. CERN is hoping to make another historic discovery. You know, they discovered the quins and the quintuple, the quertuple, the hertuple, or whatever it was. That was last week. 10 years ago, a team operating the world's largest particle collider, which was the Large Hadron Collider. I'm looking for the rest of this article here. It's wanting me to buy the Washington Post.
Oh, I hate that when you click on it.
Yeah. So we might cut this one short, but after a 3-year pause for upgrades, the accelerator run by the European Organization for Nuclear Research, or CERN, is collecting data again. This time, it's out to prove the existence of dark matter. So that's about as much as it's going to give me. So that's as much as I'm going to give you, Mallie.
Well, thanks.
It's out to prove that there's dark matter. So that's the next thing they're looking to discover. Last week, we told you about the fact that they were out to look for... they had actually found a couple of different binding materials. That's what they had found. But now they're actually looking out for dark matter. I don't think they're going to find dark matter. It was a show that was on for a long time. Now it's gone. So there you go. That's my little joke there, Mallie. It's a really bad joke, and now it's gone. I don't. Yeah, bad joke. So we'll move on. How's that sound?
Perfect.
Yeah, we'll move on in news stories here. We have about 3 news stories here before the end of the show. Just a reminder about Parashare. If you have a paranormal story or a paranormal experience that you want to share with us, it's real easy. You just go to tim@darknessradio.com. You send your email there. Just, nice, easy story. Just nice and easy. Just describe your experience to us. We'll read it here on air, and we will... we'll read it over the air here. We'll weigh in on your experience and let you know what we think. It's just that simple. Just that simple. Let's go ahead and give you the last couple of stories here. A weird story here, Mallie. I had talked to Bruiser last week about Agent Buttercup. Have you ever seen these stories on TikTok about Agent Buttercup? I think it's the questions you want to ask an ex-spy.
Yeah, isn't it like her there's a girl where her father's an ex-spy
Yep.
and she asks questions to him. Yeah, I've seen a couple of them.
Okay, so you've seen a couple of those?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen some of the questions about what would happen in World War III?
No.
Okay, so she asked these questions about who would survive World War III, and he always has these cryptic answers, like the people who are already 6 feet under. In other words, nobody would survive World War III.
Right.
I mean, just kind of, questions that shake you to your core type of, things. And it's, you think I get cryptic about AI stuff. This next story will kind of shake you to your core because it's coming from New York City.
Okay.
The headline.
You seriously don't want me to sleep tonight, do you?
No, no. This next story's headline is "Don't Ask Me Why." New York City releases video about what to do in case of nuclear war. Why now?
Yeah, exactly.
New York City's advice to nuclear war survivors is good, but it still supposes a world when the living don't envy the dead. In other words, it ain't going to be a nice existence.
Right.
All right. New York City's latest public service announcement is all about how to survive nuclear war. Again, why release this now?
I know, it's like they're putting out feelers or, kind of just, they're putting it into the universe. Knock it off.
Right, yeah. It opens with a 3D rendering of a street filled with brownstones. There's some rubble and distant sounds of sirens. The sky is clear. So there's been a nuclear attack, a woman says as she strides into the scene. Don't ask me how or why. Just know that the big one is hit. Oh, creepy. The PSA's advice, as far as advice on how to survive a nuke goes, isn't bad. It keeps the 3 points. 1, get inside as quickly as possible. 2, stay inside, preferably in a basement, but as close to the middle of the building as possible. 3, stay tuned to official channels on TV and social media, and be sure to sign up for Notify NYC so you know when it's safe to go outside. Yikes.
That's uneasy.
This is largely the same advice the writer of the article gave when he researched the topic back in 2020. If you're outside during the initial blast, it's best to take a shower with soap, water, and shampoo when you get inside. NYC mentioned this in its PSA. Critically, though, do not use conditioners.
Why?
I'm about to tell you.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. The chemicals in the conditioner can actually bind to radioactive material and keep it in your hair. You don't want radioactive material in your hair, Mallie.
No.
This is, of course, advice for people living outside the immediate blast zone. Anyone within the initial blast radius of the detonation will be consumed by nuclear fire. So you got that going for you.
Right.
Yeah. How big is that blast radius? It's widely variable. If Russia's SS-25 missile, its largest known nuclear warhead, detonated over Midtown Manhattan, everything from West 30th to West 52nd Street and between 10th and 3rd Avenue would be gone, vaporized. The resultant blast wave would smash into buildings as far away as Bloomfield, New Jersey, in the edge of JFK Airport, supposing you know where all that is.
Well, living in the Midwest doesn't look so bad now, does it?
Actually, one of the questions that Agent Buttercup answers, they ask him, where is the area most likely to be hit by Russia? Want to know what he says?
What?
Minot, North Dakota.
Well, you know what? It kind of makes sense because it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. No offense to people that live out there, but...
You know why?
Why?
Missile silos.
Oh.
That's where the majority of missile silos are. Yep. A tactical so-called low-yield nuclear weapon, like some in Congress think the Pentagon needs... let me reread that. A tactical so-called low-yield nuclear weapon, like some in Congress think the Pentagon needs, would have a decreased area of effect, but would still kill millions. There'd just be fewer people in the initial blast zone. America's B-61 nuclear bomb can deploy a 50 kiloton blast that would irradiate an area the size of the SS-25's blast zone, but would only consume 6 or so blocks in hellfire. The blast wave would taper off somewhere near New York University and just barely touch New Jersey. Staying inside, staying clean, and waiting a few weeks for the literal nuclear dust to settle is good advice. It's also only worthwhile to the people who survive the initial blast. And in a case where the big one finally hits, it's hard to imagine it'd be the only missile fired.
Right.
The reason why all this is being said, and again, we're not a political show, but
right.
There are many people within the U.S. government that believe that Putin is ready to use nuclear warheads because of this Ukrainian conflict.
Right, exactly. Yeah, he's doing stuff that we didn't think he was going to do.
Yeah. And so the fact that New York City is saying, well, here's what you do in the event of a nuclear attack. Obviously, there's knowledge that's out there within different, not just our national government, but within different city governments and state governments. The fact that they're re-releasing it yet again means that it's well known within the governmental systems that, they're expecting Putin to do something.
Right.
So there you go. And there's a siren in the background.
Oh, you heard that?
Yeah. I barely heard it, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I heard it go by. I'm probably about 6 blocks from the hospital, so.
Oh, okay. All right. And finally, Mallie, today, let's end it on a positive note, shall we?
Sure.
Even Satanists can find Jesus. He was under the couch the entire time. No, I'm kidding.
He was on a potato chip.
He was on a Cheeto. It was a Cheeto Jesus. A South African Satanist, which is kind of hard to believe they have him there, meets Jesus in a supernatural encounter and turns to Christ after experiencing God's love. It's true. It can happen even in South Africa, although this guy is kind of goofy looking. I'm not going to lie. Just saying. I mean, I'm one to judge, but I'm kind of goofy looking myself. I'll throw it out there. But
Stop.
The co-founder of a satanic movement in South Africa is telling his personal story about choosing to leave Satanism after his heart was overwhelmed with the love of Jesus. Look at that. Ryan, I believe it is Swigelar? Yeah. A former reverend at the South African Satanic Church stepped down from his position in May. He took to Facebook on July 4th to share his testimony. He saw the fireworks, people. He says, I'm doing this live video because more than 100 people on WhatsApp and almost 200 on Facebook are sending me messages wanting to know why did I leave the South African Satanic Church, as well as why did I turn my back on Satanism, Swigelar said. He continued to be very honest. I initially thought I would slip out the back door quietly. Oh, you can't slip out the back door.
Oh, stop.
Yeah, I mean, if you claim to love Jesus, he's not a big fan of the back door. Just saying. Or maybe he is. Maybe the Christians have it all wrong.
You are taking this on a different level.
Maybe Jesus loves the back door. Anyway, Swigelar says, to be very honest, I initially thought I would slip out the back door quietly, and I didn't really think that people would be this interested in why I am doing what I'm doing. I'm going to talk from my experience. I'm going to talk about my choices. He went on to say, Swigelar noted that he wanted to address people from a personal space, but with an open heart. I actually feel it's time more people just start talking, speaking their truth. So I'm certainly encouraging people to do that, as well as by doing this video, he stated. Swigelar, who was involved in Christian ministry 20 years ago before becoming an atheist, recalled what drew him to Satanism 4 years ago. I got involved with Satanism because at the time it resonated with me by being very broken and sad without realizing it. I think the reason a lot of people resonate with Satanism is they come from a very broken place. I've met thousands of Satanists over the last 3 years, and I'm not saying the intentions are bad. They are extremely broken and extremely hurt. That's the one thing we all have in common, he said. Holding back tears, Swigelaar explained that he turned against Satanism after recently experiencing unconditional Christian love. He said, I've never known unconditional love in my whole life, and up to today, there's only 4 Christians in my whole life that have shown me what unconditional love is. I want to thank those 4 people. Words cannot express what you've done for me, he said. To show someone love is everything. It's not a simple thing. You've shown me everything. You've showed me the love of Christ. I've seen it in you, Swigelaar added. He pointed out that love was shown to him during a time when he was a monster and an ugly person. In mid-May, Swigelaar gave his last interview as a member of the South African Satanic Church on the Cape Talk radio station. Following the interview, a woman working for the station, whose name he would not reveal, came to him and demonstrated God's love in an unexpected way. I told her, I don't believe in Jesus. I don't believe Jesus Christ exists, because I didn't. She came to me after the interview, after I said that, and she hugged me, and she held me in a way that I've never been loved, Swigelaar said. That's all she did. She just said it was nice to meet me in person. A week later on WhatsApp, through her status, I saw this woman as a Christian. I've never had a Christian do that, he stated. I've never experienced a Christian show that much love and acceptance unconditionally. After I said the things I said, she did that. That stayed with me, he went on to say. A week later, Swigelaar was performing a satanic ritual by himself, which he said was geared towards gaining more power and influence as a Satanist. I did this ritual and I opened myself up and Jesus appeared. And I was extremely cocky and said, if you are Jesus, you need to prove it. And he flooded me with the most beautiful love and energy, and I recognized it immediately because that woman at the radio station showed it to me. That's how I recognized the love of Christ. Swigelaar said he didn't think he was worthy of God's love because he has been living a gay life. For the past month, he has been having real conversations with God, and the kingdom of God is not a gated community. It is open to everybody. He concluded the video by assuring his followers that he will be posting material that he's written recently about his connection with Christ. The Satanic Church of South Africa confirmed Swigelaar's resignation and thanked him for his contribution. They said, we at the SASC Council want to thank Swigelaar for his contribution, both as the pastor and the co-founder of the SA Satanic Church. We wish him success in all his future endeavors. Well, see, now that's a nice breakup.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't mean about it.
Well, no. I mean, when you think about the opposite, I mean, if he would have, I mean, let's face it. I mean, I'm not that I'm trying to talk bad about any church or anything like that, but if he would have left like a Baptist church, said he was going over to the satanic side, they would have shook their fists in righteous indignation. You know,
or Scientology, where they...
Yeah, or Scientology. They would have hunted him down.
Try and leave.
Right? If he would have told the Scientologists that he was becoming a Satanist, by God, they would have chased him down to the ends of the earth. But, you know.
Mm-hmm. He just lost faith for a while.
But he told the Satanists, I'm going to become a Christian. They're like, hey, you know what? Satan, go with you. I mean, you know, they're real cool about it.
Right. I mean, will I be inviting them to my next barbecue? Probably not.
No. I mean, you know, they're probably not going to, you know, show up with a housewarming gift or anything like that. But, you know, I mean, you know, all's well that ends well.
Yes.
Yeah. There were well wishes all around.
Yes. The guy is happy now.
Yeah, exactly. He's very happy. He's found Jesus. And
he feels loved.
He feels loved. The Satanists are okay with it.
Uh-huh.
Everybody's
he's true to himself, that, you know, his sexuality, that's good.
Yep. He's firm in his sexuality.
Yes.
Nobody has an issue with it. We're all good.
Yes. That's the way to end the show on a good note, considering you freaked me out on the previous stories.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Sometimes it's nice to live in my own little bubble.
I'm sorry. I didn't. And I apologize to Mr. Fox, who will be probably up with you half the night.
No, he has Yeah, he's working.
Yeah. Oh,
It's midnight, so I'm going to be by myself with the dogs. My brain is my worst enemy.
Well, I apologize to the dogs for having to sit with you for half the night. I know you're probably going to make them do the puppet show again, and I apologize for that. Doggies, I'm sorry that you have to wear all the different outfits tonight.
Yes. I'm going to be rocking myself in the corner.
Doing the puppet show. I apologize for that. It's unfortunate.
Oh, I've got costumes.
I bet you do. I'm sorry for that. By the way, Mallie, before we leave today, uniforms on chickens, yes or no?
That would be funny.
No, I'm so against it. But
You're against uniforms on chickens?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, why?
Because God made them perfectly the way they are.
Yeah, but it's cute when they some little old lady knits them a hat.
Really?
Yeah.
Chickens?
Any animal with an outfit is adorable to me in my eyes.
Mal, let me explain something to you.
Okay.
They have fur, they have feathers, they have something to protect them. They have a little ecosystem going on where they're just fine and they're warm as they are. They don't need a hat. They don't need suspenders and breeches. They just don't need it.
All right. Whose chickens are wearing uniforms?
I have a cousin who keeps taunting me with pictures of chickens and outfits.
Uh-huh.
Just because she knows it drives me nuts. It's a long story. I can't. And now I'm going to have people sending me pictures of chickens and outfits.
Right.
And please don't do that, especially if you want to get blocked online. It's a good way to do it. It's a bone of contention with me. A chicken bone of contention. A delicious, delicious chicken bone of contention with me. But yeah, yeah. Although I did see one funny meme, something about a cock hanging out of your pants.
Oh, Jesus.
But I mean, that's the only one that actually made me laugh. I'm just saying, as long as we were on the fact that the pups had to do a puppet show for you tonight,
right,
to keep you,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we can wrap up the show then. Chicken and chicken outfits are a big thing with me. Big, and not big in a good way. Yeah. That's my. It goes AI taking over the world, nuclear destruction, chicken uniforms. In horrific scenarios for me.
I can see people sending you now chickens wearing outfits just to push the buttons.
They're going to get blocked. Yeah.
You seriously would block them for sending you a picture?
Yeah. 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 Try me. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know how tempted I am to do it?
Oh, try me. Try me, sister.
It's like with my brothers. It's like, ooh, I found a weakness. Let's just irritate them just a tiny bit.
Yeah, don't push that button. Say chickens and outfits. There's no need. That'd be like me wearing various wigs. Why would I need to?
Yeah, but what if someone sent you some really cute outfits for your little chipmunks?
No.
Would you put them on?
No. Why?
I bet Sherry would.
No. Why? Why?
Because it's cute.
No. The chipmunks have all the fur they need, and they sleep for most of the winter underground, and they get all the food they need to generate all the heat they need. And besides, they won't hold still long enough to put the goddamn outfits on them. So it's a waste of time. Yeah. Besides, how do you know what size they are?
True.
Yeah. Waste of time, waste of money, waste of energy. Just a waste.
Okay.
And here's the thing, okay?
You're like a party pooper now.
Well, no. I'm bringing logic. I'm bringing logic to the situation, okay? Mm-hmm. You're going to put a football jersey on your dog. How do you know who your dog's favorite player is? Riddle me that one, Batman.
You're no fun.
I'm just saying. How do you know?
Whatever.
How
no
do you
fun.
know? How do you know?
No fun, Tim.
And have you ever seen a dog that looks absolutely miserable in a costume? Most dogs look absolutely miserable in costumes to me. Miserable.
Have you seen those dogs that talk with the buttons?
Talk with the buttons?
Yeah, like you have these buttons, like each button is a word and you put it on the ground and it can communicate with you. Like the dog hits certain buttons.
That's a Saturday Night Live bit, Mallie. I don't think that's real.
It's interesting. Mine would just hit for the, snack, food, treat, outside. Those would be like the 4 buttons it would hit. But yeah, no, it's cool. And there was one, though. There was one that it was a paranormal one because it was saying, I can't remember. It was like something like, Grandpa C corner, something like that. Like it was doing, and the grandpa had passed, but it was like hitting these buttons.
Maybe
it was cool.
Maybe it was just loving the fact that they were jumping as it was hitting the button. It was making the people jump.
It was creepy. But yeah, no, I want those talking buttons. That'd be entertaining. One lady does swear words with her dog.
There you go. See?
That's funny.
Yeah. I'll agree on that one. I want to train a parrot that does nothing but swears.
They are cute.
Although,
what are the big white ones that look like they have a big headdress?
Is that a cockatoo?
Yeah, those are cute too. And when they swear up a storm.
Yeah.
But they live forever. And unfortunately at my age, I'd have to find somebody that would want to take it over if I was to get one right now.
Yeah, well, that's why you make a pact with with the kids. You just say, hey, you wanna inherit a big bird when I die?
Yeah, I don't know. Or my Clarabelle would eat it because we found, she had a bird in her mouth not too long ago.
Oh, not good.
Yeah, I think it was already dead. But she was thinking it was like one of her toys because I was like, what's in your mouth? Ah!
Oh, Jesus.
Drop it.
See? So how could such a vicious creature want to wear like a pretty princess dress? That's what I'm saying. I'm bringing it full circle.
Nope.
See?
She'll put something on for me.
Nah.
Yeah.
Only because it's trapped. It can't go anywhere. It can't run away from home. That's why. Just saying. Folks, I want to thank you today for joining us. Thank you, Mallie.
We were all over the place.
We were, but that's okay. We'll call it
pleasure.
Short attention span theater.
There we go.
That's what today's supernatural news was. It was short attention span theater with Mallie Fox and Tim Dennis.
I like how you put my name first that one.
That's right. It normally is when Bruiser's here anyways. Today's edition of Short Attention Span Theater, otherwise known as Darkness Radio, is brought to you by Microdose Gummies. I want to remind you that Microdose Gummies is just 0.3% THC, so it's available in all 50 states. It's within the legal limits of THC. It's a CBD THC mix. It comes from industrial hemp. And if you're suffering from chronic pain, if you're suffering from anxiety, if you want to be operating at your best, if you want to just relax those muscles, if you want to get back into great shape, if you want to help yourself greatly with pain and sleep, if you're ready to try them for yourself and just get going quickly, you can do that with Microdose Gummies. They ship to all 50 states, like I said, and you can do that right now. Microdose Gummies, they're available right now. Just click on the link in the description of the show or go to microdose.com. Use the code word darkness and you'll save on free shipping, 30% off your first order. And do it today. That's from Microdose Gummies. You can find out more about microdosing as well at microdose.com. Want to thank Microdose for being a sponsor of this program. We encourage you folks to try out our sponsors. By all means, try out our sponsors. Go visit our sponsors. They are supporting this program because they believe in the program. They're excited to be on our program. We want you to check out our sponsors as well, and show them some love. Show them some love. Show them that you appreciate them as well. And try the products if you can. We'd appreciate it if you would. And let them know when you're trying the product that you appreciate them and their faith in our program as well. So we appreciate that as well. Folks, tomorrow on the program, Mallie, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
We're getting into 125 years of Dracula. We're celebrating the 125th anniversary of Dracula with Dacre Stoker.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, Bram Stoker's, is it three times grandnephew? I know it's his grandnephew, but
right.
I don't remember how many generations it goes back. Plus, Dr. Chris McCauley will be here. They have a Kickstarter campaign that they'll be talking about, having to do with a graphic novel, having to do with Bram Stoker's Dracula. We'll be talking about Bram Stoker and Dracula and the 125th anniversary. They also have some exclusive merchandise available, having to do with Dracula as well. So lots of good stuff on tap for tomorrow.
Very cool.
Yeah. So that'll do it for today. Mallie.
Yes.
Before we go today, we got to let people know about Paranormal Girl.
You put me on the spot. It's still on hold. I'm revamping everything, but yes, paranormalgirl.com. Great things are coming in the near future, but yes, right now it's being revamped. I'm rebranding.
You're rebranding. Well, you better have it rebranded in about a month there, sister, because we got Michigan Paracon coming up.
Oh, yeah. I've got some cute things that I'm going to be bringing along. So, yeah.
And you can see Mallie at Michigan Paracon coming up the weekend of, I believe it's August 20. Does it start August 25th?
Something like that. It's like that.
Last full weekend in August.
Yeah, exactly. Sunday. Well, everyone leaves on Sunday, so I guess Thursday through Saturday.
Yeah, so that'll take place in that weekend in August. I'll be there. Mallie will be there. Unfortunately, we won't have Bruiser this year. He's booked out already with wrestling gigs. But next year, hopefully, we'll have Bruiser with us. Yeah, Mallie and I will be there at Michigan Paracon this year, and look forward to seeing you there as well. I got to get Brad and Tim on this show.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, so we got to get them on here sometime soon and talk about Michigan Paracon. I know there's still limited tickets available there at Keewaydin Casino. Michigan Paracon, I'll put a link in the description of the show as well for Michigan Paracon for you to get your tickets. Tickets are going quickly. If the very few that are left are going quickly. So get your tickets for that as well. For Mallie Fox, I'm Tim Dennis. Thank you so much for joining us here for another edition of Supernatural News and Parashare on a Wednesday. Tomorrow, we're talking 125th anniversary of Dracula right here on the Best in Paranormal Podcasting. This has been Darkness Radio.